What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 110 and we're starting today's episode off with the news that Sandro Tonali is out of the remainder of this season. Yeah, he went down in the game against Spurs where we progressed through to our first Champions League final with AC Milan. We put a Brentford going all the way to the final in our first year in the big time. But Tonali going down with the broken toe, he's done. He'll miss the remaining Serie A games. Not that they matter now that we've wrapped the Serie A title up, but he will crucially, of course, miss the Coppa Italia Final versus Fiorentina and the Champions League final versus Manchester United. Now, Tielemans would, of course, come in, and he is a rating higher, but Sandro, you would have seen his stats a moment ago there. What Sandro does, you don't see in the stat sheet. He is the anchor man in this team that protects the back four, and he's a big reason why I got the best defensive record in the Serie A this year. Tielemans can do that, but I prefer him, despite the lack of pace, being more of a box-to-box type of player, which is what Rovella has done this season. So that's a big blow tactically for us. Tonali done for the remainder of the season, and for Spurs as well. We came through Conte's boys, but should I really be surprised that a former Inter Milan manager injured two of my players and two of my stars, Keane and Tonali, both out for the remaining Serie A games and our Coppa Italia and Champions League finals? Well, heading to the first game of today's episode with just 3 games to go in this Serie A. As we knew, the title in the bag, we could equal Juve's point record of 102 if we won the remaining 3, though we couldn't beat it. But speaking of records, this was the one everyone was most interested in. Roberto Gutierrez heading in to today's episode with 3 games remaining, chasing that Serie A goal scoring record that is jointly held by Ciro Immobile and Gonzalo Higuain of 36 goals in a season, while Roberto headed us in front in this game with his 32nd goal, meaning he needed another 5 in the remaining 2.5 games if he was going to get it. He needed at least 2 in every game, you would say, to break the record. But if anyone's capable, it's Gutierrez. He scored our first, then got involved in the build-up of the second in this game against Empoli here, rolling through Callum Hudson-Odoi, sweats it across the face of Timmermans. By the way, this celebration, I need to remember the button combination. I think it's R1 and down, down. It's one of the coolest celebrations in FIFA. It looks brilliant, man. But that was 2-0. We got our second, and then Gutierrez. I kind of felt really frustrated in this game because, okay, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I was just playing to get him goals, but he was always so far away from the goal. Empoli were just man-marking him very tight. They didn't want to see him break the record, so whilst he got a hockey assist for our second and the actual assist for the third, we were 3-0 up at the break, but Rob had only scored the first of the 3, so don't get me wrong, I was pleased to be leading and leading comfortably, but I really wanted the more goals for Rob. And in the second half, after I gifted Empoli a lifeline back here of some awful dribbling with Santos, don't ask me what I was doing, we were still leading by 2. It was going to be nothing other than a consolation goal. We'd been the better team, and I was desperate to get Rob his second of the game and keep those dreams of breaking the record alive. Salah's regen goes on the run, rolls it across, and for Gutierrez, man oh man, should have scored that, should have taken it, should have got him his brace. Instead, he finishes with 1. We win the game by 3 goals to 1. You see the stats here as well. I played really counter-attacking football in this game. That's always the way I've found is best to get you more goals. But for Rob, only the 1 in that game, now stuck on 32 and needing 5 in 2 games. Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough against 2 teams right now chasing a Champions League place. Atalanta away from home in Bergamo, and then Cagliari on the final day also chasing a top 4 place as well. And with this game coming just a few days before the Coppa Italia Final in midweek against Fiorentina as well. As we know, the game comes before the final Serie A game. I've done some sneak editing though, so you'll see the Coppa Italia Final as a standalone episode later on tonight. I was going to pick my strongest lineup for this game with that cup final coming in midweek. So I picked a mix of a couple of starters, but a lot of fringe players as well. So once Atalanta took the lead, I wasn't really surprised. But 28 minutes in, bang, I had to keep Rob's chance of getting that goal-scoring record alive. So I sidelined him from a game against Genoa, which was sandwiched in between the Spurs Champions League semi-final. With Rob knocking on the door of breaking that record, I had to start him in this game. It was a risk, running the risk of him potentially getting injured for the Coppa Italia Final and maybe the CL Final as well, but I had to do it. Rob's chasing history. I needed to start him. He got goal number 33, putting him 3 behind Immobile and Higuain, but 38 minutes in, Oh, this was absolutely beautiful, and I give full credit to EA for the way they've improved the AI's awareness on Ultimate this year. That's one of the biggest changes I've noticed. Serge Gnabry scores a contender for goal of this season, and it's a beaut! Beats Messina in the air, nods it on for himself, and I just gradually, accidentally, poor judgment from me, held down the triangle button just momentarily with Mike to close down the angle. Bad decision. I mentioned it before, you make one mistake on defense against the AI, they'll punish you. You bring your goalkeeper out, they'll punish you. You cannot get him off his line, they will punish you. Exactly what Gnabry does there. Atalanta restored the lead. It's 2-1. But for as bad as my defense was, I knew going forward I'd get more chances. And just a couple minutes later, a chance to get us back on level terms. And Gutierrez says to Gnabry, anything you can do, I can do. Maybe not quite as good, but still do pretty well. Yeah, stops on a dime, scoop rolls round Raphael Varane and says to the vet and the legend, no chance, mate, you're too old now, and bends it into the far corner for his second of the game and goal number 34. So with a game and a half remaining, he still needs a 2 to equal the record and 3 to break it. But we had a whole other half to play here in Bergamo, and he was looking the real deal. I knew if I got him another chance, I'd probably take it. But again, my problem was quite frankly defensively. I was literally all over the place. I mean, seriously, I know I had a bit of a weakened back line out of bed, but Jonasson, he's a regen/new gen. He's really highly rated in the game. Makes it 3-2, gets his brace, puts Atalanta back in front for the third straight time. But with 7 minutes to go, Scamacca makes it 3-3 in an absolute thriller. And for the third time in the game, well, can you say resilience? Because that's what we showed in this one here. This actually went down as an own goal from Van Dijk, after Scamacca's little chip was actually turned into his own goal by Virgil van Dijk. So in the end, it's a 3-3 draw, an absolute thriller in Bergamo. This was a cracking game, and whilst the result meant nothing to us, it had big implications for Atalanta, chasing that 4th place in the Champions League spots in the Serie A. And for Roberto, I mean, you saw walking off the pitch there. I took 7 shots in the game with Gutierrez. I'm not going to lie. I always say I am very, very honest about it in my CM saves. In these 3 games here, the wins did not mean anywhere close to as much as Roberto Gutierrez's goals did. I didn't mind if we lost all 3 games, so long as Gutierrez set the record. And it meant heading to the final game of the season. We had a chance to get to 100 points if we would win against Cagliari at home on the final day, desperate to qualify for the Champions League on match day 38. And for Gutierrez, once again, he needed 2 to equal the record of Ciro Immobile and Gonzalo Higuain, and 3 to beat it. So the question was, at the San Siro, could we do it? Could Roberto Gutierrez break that Serie A goal scoring record? You know that Tony broke it in the Premier League, and now Rob, all eyes on him, had a chance to break it in Italy. So heading to the game, like I said, my mentality right from the first whistle, just like in the previous 2 games, was the exact same. Get robbed the chances, get robbed the goals. Opening 10 minutes, our first chance fell early. And we took it. 1 of 3 needed. Lovely little build-up. Timmermans rolls him through. And El Capitano's first shot of the game finds the top corner. And when you start off a game and you get a goal early, you think, okay, the floodgates could open here. And that's what we needed if we were to break the record. That got him to 35, 1 behind equaling the record, and there was a whole other 80 minutes to play. So I thought, let's keep it going. Gets the crowd going, we keep on staying in attack mode, and 25 minutes in from a corner, once again we're on the break. It's the dynamic duo of Timmermans and Gutierrez linking up. And Elias this season is the second highest scorer in the Serie A. And he's just assisted Rob for the equaling goal at number 36. Timmermans this year has been incredible, but Roberto is still the main man, and there it is. History, record equaling goal for Roberto. 36th of the season, and that penalty we put on him after the save file sync issue back in January didn't seem like it was going to matter. There was 1 half to play, 45 minutes to go, and the question was, in that second half, could Roberto get the 3rd goal, the match ball, the hat-trick, and the 37th of the season that would see him break the record? Well, 10 minutes after the restart, it's over. It's over! You have no idea how much I wanted this, because halfway through the season when he was chasing it, he started to slow down a little bit, maybe due to fatigue, and I thought the chance had gone, especially after the save file sync issue. But Roberto Gutierrez, and I'm not going to lie, like I said, I was playing for it. It meant more to me than the wins did. And in the second half, once Destiny stormed down the left, I saw Roberto ghosting in unmarked, held his run nicely, then made the right move, smacks it in, and there it is. Record-breaking Roberto. 37 goals in the Serie A, and Immobile and Higuain are now 1 goal behind the new record breaker. But for Roberto as well, I had to show you the replay of this too if you missed it first time. He's not only going to win the Golden Boot with a record breaking 37 goals, but he's also going to win the assist title because this guy can do it all. You know, at Brentford he was unbelievable, but since joining to Milan, he's taken his game to the next level, and that's what legends do. Final score 4-0 over Cagliari, but whilst the points are nice and we get to the magic 100, what mattered to me was seeing that Rob would leave the pitch with the match ball, not just for the hat-trick, because this was the ball where he broke the record as well. Record-breaking Roberto, 37 in a single Serie A season, and what a fitting way to do it. A hat-trick on the final day at the San Siro. Oh, Roberto Gutierrez, absolutely iconic closeout to the season for Roberto Gutierrez and AC Milan. As we take one final look at the Serie A table, we knew we'd won the title a couple episodes ago, but there you are. We win it by a whopping 20 points, 100 up and 100 goals got to on the final day as well. I didn't realise we had a chance to get to 100 goals on the final day either until I saw we'd done it. But talk about ending Inter's championship in style. They were one of only 2 teams to beat us this season. The other, of course, Juventus, but a dominant Serie A season. 20 points clear of the runners-up. And, of course, the main reason why? Roberto, the goal machine, Gutierrez. 37 record-breaking season. But to be fair, Timmermans, I mentioned him earlier there, 22 goals for Elias. Unbelievable season for Timmermans. He was the runner-up in the assist title as well. But Gutierrez says to his young protege, like Ivan Toney was to me, you're still in my shadow. I love it. Gutierrez has become the leader in his team. Timmermans in the shadow for now, but it won't be long, I'm sure, before he's competing with Rob for the main man title in this team. As Mike also won the Golden Glove as well. You see the cool little animation there as the record gets broken. But as for the team of the season, we end today's episode off by being absolutely snubbed. What? So, Gedson Fernandez is in there. Okay, yeah, cool. And Gutierrez is there too. Really? Where was Mike, Golden Glove winner? Where was Timmermans, runner-up in the Golden Boot in the assist title? Are you serious? Bit of a sour note to end on, but it doesn't detract from a great season. A record-breaking year for Rob. 100 goals, 100 points, a Serie A in the bag. And now the question is, can we get the domestic double and avenge our demons of last year? Fiorentina in the Coppa Italia Final. And it comes next. But that will end today's episode of CM, guys. Massive thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And I'll see you for the next episode later on tonight. It is the Coppa Italia Final against Fiorentina as we chase the domestic double very soon.